Annie Duke, Thinking in Bets, Making Smarter Decisions When You Don't Have All the Facts. In A Thinking in Bets, Making Smarter Decisions When You Don't Have All the Facts, Annie Duke explores the concept of decision-making through the lens of betting. As we navigate through a world full of incomplete information and unpredictable outcomes, it's helpful to treat decisions as bets based on a likely future outcome, much like poker players do. By recognizing that our decisions aren't definitively right or wrong, this mindset helps us to embrace uncertainty and think in terms of probability. Duke stresses the importance of developing good quality beliefs, seeking truth and objectivity, and analyzing our decision-making processes for self-improvement.
The danger of linking outcome to decision quality. The outcome of a decision does not always determine its quality. Just like in poker, life is a game of incomplete information and luck. It's crucial to avoid confusing the two by thinking probabilistically instead of believing a decision is 100% right or wrong. Public opinion on Seattle Seahawks coach Pete Carroll's decision to pass instead of handing the ball off in the last 26 seconds of Super Bowl 49 exemplifies how people can be misled by an outcome's quality. In truth, decisions are bets and should be evaluated based on their probabilities, not outcomes. Truth-seeking for better decision-making. Making good decisions requires good quality beliefs, which means we need to be willing to do some work in the form of truth-seeking. Unfortunately, our inherent tendency to believe things is still present and it's difficult to change beliefs once they're formed. However, we can work around our tendencies with a simple phrase, "Wanna bet?" This phrase triggers us to look more closely at our beliefs and be objectively accurate, which is a lot more like truth-seeking and helps us make better decisions. In order to make good decisions, we need good quality beliefs, which are ideas about our choices that are informed and well thought out. However, forming these good quality beliefs requires us to do some work in the form of truth-seeking. This means striving for truth and objectivity, even when it goes against our held beliefs. Unfortunately, our inherent tendency to believe things is still present and it's difficult to change beliefs once they're formed. Our evolutionary ancestors didn't see questioning new beliefs as a high priority since it could be dangerous. With the development of language, we could communicate things that our own senses had never experienced, leading to the ability to form abstract beliefs. However, this new ability worked via our old belief-forming methods, and questioning remained something we did infrequently. In experiments conducted by Harvard psychology professor Daniel Gilbert and his colleagues in 1993, participants read statements color-coded as either true or false. Later, they were asked to remember which statements were true and which were false while being distracted to increase their cognitive load. In the end, the subject's tendency was to simply believe that statements had been true, even those that had false color coding. Beliefs are hard to change because we seek out evidence that confirms our belief, and ignore or work against anything contradictory. However, we can work around our tendencies with a simple phrase, "Wanna bet?" This phrase triggers us to look more closely at our beliefs and be objectively accurate, which is a lot more like truth-seeking and helps us make better decisions. Whenever there's something riding on the accuracy of our beliefs, we're less likely to make absolute statements and more likely to validate those beliefs. Focusing on accuracy and acknowledging uncertainty is a lot more like truth-seeking, which helps us get beyond our resistance to new information and gives us something better to bet on. Learning from outcomes. Reviewing outcomes helps improve future decisions by analyzing the factors of skill, luck, and unknown information that led to them. It is crucial to differentiate when to blame skill or luck to avoid repeating mistakes. However, analyzing outcomes objectively can be limited by self-serving biases while blaming others and taking credit for good results. Looking at other people's outcomes can help to circumvent self-serving biases, but it also comes with limitations. When reviewed objectively, outcomes can provide valuable insights and refine beliefs that can lead to better decision-making. The power of Phil Ivey's good habits. Phil Ivey, a renowned poker player, owes his success to his good habits. Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, explains that habits work in neurological loops with three parts: cue, routine, and reward. To change a habit, one must leave the cue and reward intact but change the routine. Phil Ivey's poker habits revolve around truth-seeking and accurate outcome fielding rather than the self-serving bias most players possess. His outstanding habits helped him win a 2004 tournament and improved his gameplay. Individuals who want to improve the way they field outcomes should consider thinking of them as bets, which forces them to look into the causes and become more objective and compassionate when evaluating outcomes. The power of objective analysis. A group dedicated to examining decisions must have a clear focus, a commitment to objectivity and open-mindedness, and a charter that all members understand. Dissent and diversity are crucial to objective analysis, keeping any group from being more than an echo chamber. In such a group, increasing objectivity leads to approval within the group, motivating the members to strive for ever greater accuracy. Seeking approval doesn't mean agreeing on everything, but dissent and diversity help us look more closely at our beliefs and produce high-quality thinking. CUDOS guidelines for decision-making in groups. If you want to improve your decision-making abilities in a group, start by following the CUDOS guidelines: communism, universalism, disinterestedness, and organized skepticism. Developed by sociologist Merton R. Shkolnick, these guidelines help to ensure that each member of the group shares all relevant information transparently, evaluates information through the same standards, avoids bias, and engages in collegial examination of what is known and unknown. Through these guidelines, groups can make better decisions for the future, be more accountable, and improve their reasoning skills. Future self-care. Comedian Jerry Seinfeld's experience as a night guy is an excellent example of temporal discounting. It's a common phenomenon where people prioritize immediate needs over future desires. Fortunately, there are several ways to overcome this tendency and look after our future selves. Imagining future outcomes, recruiting our future feelings, and practicing backcasting and premortems are some of the effective methods to avoid falling prey to temporary impulses and prioritize the long term. By incorporating these methods, we can take charge of our decisions and plan for our future, leading to more successful outcomes.
The key takeaways from Annie Dukes. Thinking in bets emphasize the need for adopting a betting mentality when it comes to decision-making. This helps us to let go of absolutes and consider probabilities instead, encouraging truth-seeking and open-mindedness. By recognizing and working on our biases, utilizing effective collaboration with decision-examining groups, and employing techniques such as backcasting, premortems, and October 10, we can enhance our decision-making skills and embrace uncertainty. Overall, the book provides valuable insights into the process of making decisions, highlighting the significance of acknowledging our limited knowledge and adapting our perspectives to achieve better outcomes.